If you were to ask the average man, woman or gender non-binary individual walking along the street to name a guitar manufacturer, the chances are they would say either Fender or Gibson. Now, Fender recently released a report saying that in the last 12 months 50% of its new instruments have been bought by females, and this has never happened before, and it's fantastic because it means there will be more women who become proper musicians and not glorified fucking karaoke singers, the type of which gets regurgitated out on Saturday night television. I mean, as a general rule, if you're watching an artist and it looks like they're backing dancers put more effort into the choreography than the songwriter did writing the fucking song, that music will be utter crap. I listen to most types of guitar-based music, with the exception of jazz, because one has to draw a line somewhere. And although some of those musicians are amazing, I do not wish to associate with jazz types. I've been to a few jazz clubs, they're all the bloody same. It's like you've inadvertently, accidentally wandered in on the Wanker of the Year World Championship final. Lots of people going, it's so amazing, you never heard anything like it. Whereas the type of music I mainly listen to, rock and heavy metal, in the last 3 decades, there's been massive increases in the amount of women in the genre. A lot of female-fronted rock and metal bands where the vocals lend a different dynamic, and now there's a huge rise in female guitar players. But sadly, with more women in rock and metal, it means at live music events there are more men who aren't there for the music, as it were. Now, I'm a happily married man, but the absolute top of my fantasy shag list is the American guitar player Nita Strauss. She's a skinny blonde American, but that's not what's attractive about her, it's because she's a phenomenal musician. Yeah, I've been to a few of her guitar workshops, and there's always a few guys there who aren't there for her musical ability. She'll always ask, how many guitar players are there? And a load of us put our hands up, and I think, those of you who haven't got your hands up, what are you actually here for? Just a fucking good lech. Now, this isn't exclusive to female performers. If you've ever been fortunate enough to get dragged along to a fucking Bon Jovi tribute night, you'll be aware that anything like that, it will be just rammed full of middle-aged divorced women, all smashed on vodka and Bacardi, pissed off because they can't smoke inside. And all of them will be trying to either leer at, get a photo with, or grab hold of some bloke who looks a bit like John Bon Jovi, or at least what John Bon Jovi looked like circa 1987. When women do this, it's just tragic. But when men do it, it's fucking creepy. I go to a lot of live music and I always like to be up against the barrier so I can see the band, I've got the best possible view. But what I found recently is if you go to gigs where they've got a woman in the band or a female dominated band, that front row is just the wall of perverts. And although the performer, they may be fine with that, I don't want people thinking that's what I'm fucking there for. Last year I went to see a band from Sweden, and their singer, she's very beautiful, elegant, wonderful artist, but the second she came out on stage, the place lit up like we'd been struck by fucking lightning. I've never seen so many flash bulbs go off, either on camera phones or the amount of guys that had turned up with SLRs, and this went on for their entire set. I mean, halfway through the second song I thought, well, the lighting engineer might as well just fucking go home. No one can see what he's doing. Anyone with photosensitive epilepsy, they're dead. But that's not the worst of it, because something else I've seen at a few gigs, including the one I went to on Friday. First band came out, couple of guys, nothing at all. Second band came out, 3 young women and a guy on drums. Stress, young women. Suddenly, there are 7 fucking photographers there. Now, I'm sure the venue hasn't paid for 7 photographers. And to prove they weren't all legit, when I went to the gents, one of the guys was in there looking through his SLR viewfinder at his pictures and going, really fucking creepy. I guarantee if the police ever get hold of that guy's hard drive, he's never going to see fucking daylight again. But worse than that, there's also a guy there, and I guess he's a bit older than me, probably around 45 years old, and he stood against the barrier, and while these young women were performing, he's got his phone out at fucking arm's length, and he's just following the guitar player around, and when she turns around, he's literally just filming her arse. Now, from the wristband she's wearing, she's under 18 years old. Now, I don't know what the guy was doing, whether he was trying to make sure his phone would set up properly in rape vision. But given that she's young enough to be my daughter, this guy's older than me and about 10 stone heavier, what the fuck is he trying to achieve? She's got to have some really fucked up severe daddy issues for him to be in with a shout. And if you just want to leer at young women, go to a fucking strip club. Go on the internet. There's fucking loads of it on there. But don't be going to heavy metal events. We don't want people to think we're perverts. We prefer them to think we worship Satan.